All right, hey guys, this is just a recap of our last lesson from last Tuesday, especially for Abby because you were sick. Sorry it took me that long to post this. So last week we covered a few things that we haven't covered so far in chapter 1, and I added a few more things as well. So number 1 is, how do we ask in French, what is this? We say, qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? And if you recall, the previous lesson I was talking about this est que part right here, est que. It's just a way to introduce a question in French. It doesn't quite mean anything. So if you just add that to the beginning of a sentence, you're signaling that this is going to be a question. So for example, if I wanted to ask you, are you American? I could say, est-ce que tu es américain? Or I could just say, es-tu américain? So I flip the subject and predicate. Instead of tu es, I say es-tu américain? But I could say, est-ce que tu es américain? So est-ce que kind of signals that you're going to ask a question. So wrapped inside this question, you see this est-ce que part, okay? And then que over here, que, Q-U-E, means what? And then c'est means this is. So qu'est-ce que c'est means what is this? Try to write that down, guys, a few times at least. This is a hard one because there are just similar words in it, like que is in it twice. This one is shortened because starts with a vowel, so they took out the e over there and replaced it with an apostrophe. So as you see, there's two que in it and then two in it. This is the verb to be, être, conjugated in the first form, right? Il est, elle est. He is, she is. So, and then this one is se, and this one is also se. But over here it's contracted. So this is a tricky one, guys, that you need to just memorize. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? It means what is this? I should actually make this bigger. Okay. So the way that we answer this question is we start our sentence by saying c'est, which means it is. C'est un chien. C'est un chien. Now over here, notice that I did the liaison, right? Normally I wouldn't pronounce that final T, but the article starts with a vowel, so I'm going to say that final T. So c'est un chien. It means this is a dog. And c'est un chat. This is a cat. And then what we discussed, Abby, is that in French, when you're referring to a dog, you would say il est méchant. Because even though your dog is a girl, chien is a masculine noun. So I know that's weird, and actually the French language is changing it a little bit. So now these days they have a feminine version for chien, and it would be une chienne, double the N at the end and add an E at the end, chienne. So it kind of caught up with the French language that it's not fair that you just have one form for both male and female dogs. So now they invented une chienne. That was not the case when I started learning French. All right, so one more time. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un chien. Or you can say c'est un chat. Or you can replace it with anything, but you would start with c'est, and then you would add the name of the object or the animal. Okay? Next slide. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Again. And over here we have c'est un livre. What that means is this is a book. Or if you're talking about more than just one book, we would say ce sont des livres. So un and une, they are articles, but indefinite articles. Un. And in the French language, we have to put them in plural. When we put them in plural, we use this article de. This is not like English, because in English you would say this is a book, but when you put that in plural, you would drop out the article. So you would say these are books, right? You don't have an article there. But in French, you have to have an article. So you would put the verb in plural. So instead of a, it becomes sont, ce sont. And then instead of un, which means a book, you will use de. And then, of course, you add that plural s, just like in English. This is the regular way of making a noun plural. Not every nouns follow this, but most nouns do. So c'est un livre means that it is a book, and ce sont des livres means that these are books. Now, what happens when we want to describe that book? When we want to say that this is an interesting book, or this is a boring book? We are going to refer to the book as a he. Because in French, we do not have a neutral form of the third person pronoun. So in English, we have he, she, it. But in French, you only have il, which means he, or elle, which means she. So in this case, what we're talking about is a book, and book in French is masculine, and is masculine. So you are going to say il est très intéressant. It is very interesting. So this is something very different from English, okay? So you're gonna refer to the book as a he. And then if we were to put that sentence in plural, we would say ils sont très intéressants. So notice this is plural, but still masculine. And then instead of a, you say sont. Très intéressant, the adjective remains the same, but we added that final s, because in French we have to kind of agree the noun and the adjective. We have to make sure that they agree in gender and in number, okay? So another object that we're going to learn today is house. C'est une maison. Maison. C'est une maison. This is a house. Or you can say these are houses. That would be ce sont des maisons. So the plural of the article une is des, just like the plural of un is des. So in plural, we don't distinguish. It would be des in both cases, both for masculine or feminine nouns. In plural, you would use des. And then because maison is a feminine noun, you are going to refer to it as an elle, as a she. So if you want to say the house, or it is big and white, like on the picture, you would say elle est grande et blanche. Blanche means white. The masculine version, by the way, of that adjective is take away the H and the E, so it would be blanc. Don't pronounce the C. Blanc. So it would be il est blanc. If we were talking about, let's say, the dog, you could say il est blanc. And then in plural, if I wanted to say these houses are big and white, we would say elles sont. Notice that the pronoun is in plural, right? We added that s. And instead of we use sont. And then for the adjectives, we added the s for grande et blanche, okay? So I'm going to read this question again and the answers. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un livre. Or, ce sont des livres. Il est très intéressant. Ils sont très intéressants. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est une maison. Ce sont des maisons. Elle est grande et blanche. Elles sont grandes et blanches. Okay, next slide. How do we say who is this? You could say c'est qui or qui est, whichever you like better. I personally like c'est qui better. C'est qui or qui est? C'est Julia Roberts. I'm not going to say it in French. Elle est populaire et sociable. Elle est grande et brune. Elle est américaine. Elle est sympa. And we talked about the adjective sympa in French. It's a very common adjective to describe somebody, and it's hard to find the English equivalent to that adjective, but what it describes is that the person is somebody that you like or you find likable, interesting. So it's a very positive adjective. Elle est sympa or il est sympa. It's got one version for both female and male. It would be sympa, and obviously you would add the S if you were describing several people. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un collège. Il est grand. So I want you to take note of the fact that collège, it doesn't mean college. It's middle school in French. And collège is masculine. So when you're going to describe a middle school, you're going to say il est grand. He is, if I translate it word by word, it means he is big. But because we don't have a neutral form, we have to use il because collège is masculine. And then I think this is the final slide. What does it mean when we say moi aussi? Moi aussi. It means me too. Et toi? That means and you. So moi and toi, they are the emphasis versions of the personal pronouns. Toi aussi, you too. So this is very often used in conversations. So for example, if I said je suis fatiguée, I am tired. Notice that there's an E at the end because I am a girl, so that's how I would say it. And if it's a boy who says that, then we don't have that E at the end. But they both sound the same, by the way. Je suis fatiguée. Et toi? And you? So if somebody asked you that question, you would say, moi aussi. Me too. Or you could say, ils sont sociables. These people are friendly. They are friendly. And then you can say, moi aussi, je suis assez sociable. I am quite friendly. Assez sociable. Assez sociable. I also asked the class to remember for the test those modifiers. We find them, I'm going to tell you what page. They are on page 19. We have assez, très, and vraiment. And what they mean is, sorry, the camera seems to be blurring a little bit. Assez means quite. So when you say il est assez amusant, that means he's quite amusing or fun. When you say il est très amusant, it means he is very fun or very amusing. And when you say il est vraiment amusant, it means he's really amusing or fun. Okay, so those are very important modifiers. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video right now. I'm gonna make another one with the lecture culturelle that we covered from the book. And then that's about it for this lesson that you missed, Abby. We will have our first test the Tuesday after the break. And it will not be easy. There will be conjugation, so please review the 4 verbs that we learned: être, avoir, aller, and I think venir is what we learned, which means to come. And review the adjectives, review the questions, review the time and the date and the days of the week and all those. All right, so I'm going to stop this now and record the other one, the lecture culturelle, in a few minutes. All right.